Talking about floors.
Talking about flooring.
Talking about flooring.
Talking about
here.
flooring here.
Talking about
What are we talking
flooring
about
here.
here? We're talking about flooring
We're
here.
talking about flooring. Here.
Flooring. It's flooring. We're talking about flooring here.
We're talking about flooring here. Hi, I'm Lindsay Joyce.
And I'm Tomek Gil.
And we're the husband-wife duo of 3F Living, an architecture and interior design firm here in the city. We help our clients from the initial design to move-in day. And we are renovating our apartment. Just to kind of start this off on floors, there are certain types of woods that you typically use on the floor. We tend to usually use white oak. Now, white oak could be brown, it could be blonde, it could be almost anything that you seem to be gray. I would say
it takes really well to staining. And
very well to staining, and it's durable and it's cost effective. Listen, we also do walnut on a case by case. Now, I will tell you something that's just hot on the market right now, which I think is amazing.
Tell me.
But I don't know if it would actually work for us.
Tell me, you can trust.
Bleached walnut. Oh, it is gorgeous because walnut, number one, has, I think, the most beautiful graining within the
it's a pastel-y kind of finish.
It's beautiful.
So
it's like a very soft kind of like
gives you a leathery look to it.
It's really nice, very, very elegant.
Walnut typically has this like chocolatey finish to it, and if you bleach it, I'm not sure, is it
so perfect. Do you have any bleached walnut? Let's show it. Bleached
Storm
walnut.
right there is bleached walnut.
Storm is a bleached walnut.
Oh my gosh, the difference is crazy.
So that's a bleached walnut.
Well, what is that process
like? And that one has,
like?
Right? Isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So walnut is just a very nice wood. Right? Look at that grain. It's like
it's different.
It's different.
Sorry. Yeah, this one.
So this is bleached walnut as well.
But you see, it's more brown. It has that walnut, undertones to it.
Yeah, which is what you're looking for if you're buying walnut.
Isn't walnut more like a softer?
Yeah, walnut's still a hardwood, but it's a softer wood. I'm not going to recommend that we use this in your place.
Yeah.
Okay.
We want to know that this is.
Yeah.
Okay, it is really nice though,
it's beautiful though, right? I told you.
Amazing, yeah.
He was like,
I like it better than
bleached walnut, and I was like, whoa, it's nice.
Pretty special.
It's pretty special.
Yeah,
it's
the
very
difference
special.
is drastic. I can't believe how
and it's more
lighting can
expensive
get.
Too.
Substantially.
Oh,
right.
substantially.
Yes. Yeah. So, how are we gonna get white oak in a transitional look and feel? Because remember, transitional does have classical elements and traditional elements that are within that period, but still verging more on the layered modern look and feel to it. So how are we going to achieve that? I'm thinking
a pattern in the floor.
Yes. And
are we talking about herringbone?
No, I want to use chevron.
Chevron.
It's only, I would say, more recently in the last 3 years that really going to chevron pattern or herringbone pattern in a more modern style wood. So the tone of the wood is more modern, but then the application of the install is a little bit more traditional or transitional, right?
Maybe we could talk a little bit about the difference between the two styles, because they're so closely kind of related.
They are.
But they are very different.
Yeah, so basically herringbone, the wood is kind of stacked, right? So it's stacked like this. One angle is hitting the other angle. So you're getting this kind of angled,
so the
pattern
planks kind of
overlapping. They key into
each other, right?
Whereas a chevron pattern is what I like to call the most elegant zigzag of your life.
That's the one with the
It is
with
like
the butt
literally,
joint, right?
it's like a
in
butt joint, yes.
Yeah.
But they're like, it's literally an angle. Like you're gonna see almost like an arrow pointing
Got
this
it.
direction,
Got
and
it.
then you're gonna see it pointing down. Then
So
you're gonna see it
both
pointing
floors
down.
kind of
It's like a
create
zigzag.
kind of an angle pattern,
Mhm.
but the way they actually key into each other from one side to the next is what defines the herringbone versus the
Correct.
chevron. And
Yes. We are actually doing like a chevron pattern for a client. Maybe I can take you to see what that would look like.
amazing. Let's do that.
Yeah. You think chevron? Are you convinced?
Yeah, let's do it. I love it.
You do?
Yeah, of course. I love it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yay.
Chevron's gonna be cool.
What is another frequently asked question? Another one is, what size plank? We would use 7-inch wide planks. I wouldn't go higher than 7 unless I'm doing like a huge loft, and then maybe would go to 9 in terms of width. And then I wouldn't go any smaller than 5.5 or 5 in terms of width of planks. Why use engineered wood flooring?
Yeah.
And so that is something
Good question.
right? Thank you. It's frequently asked. In the city, it requires different types of installation, right? The installation has to be according to the building type, the environment, and what you need for longevity of your space.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we've found, and through the years of, again, working alongside of state-of-the-art wood flooring and other installers and other contractors, really when you, because of the sheer height of the buildings, the fact that the buildings sway just naturally, that's just how buildings are built. They naturally sway depending on tall buildings.
Yep. We work in a lot of tall buildings, so
that affects the floors. It affects like how the floors are maintained.
Living in a city and dealing with the kind of buildings that we have here and the extreme temperature swings. I mean, we can go up to 100 in the summertime with extreme humidity, right? And then in the wintertime, we're dropping super low. So I guess the wood would basically respond to these environmental changes, to these extremes. Wood is a very, a living material. If even
porous.
Yeah,
it's porous.
Exactly. It absorbs moisture and releases moisture. So as it does that, it kind of expands and contrasts. And what the engineered flooring really gives us is stability.
And so the way that engineered floors work, it's real wood. That's another misconception. They're like, oh, I'm using fake wood. No,
it's real wood.
Engineered floors are actually made out of real wood. The first quarter, sometimes 3/4, sometimes 3/8 top part of the wood is like a milled walnut, a milled white oak, and you can sand and stain these floors sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes even 4 times, depending on the thickness that you get of that. So basically you're getting real wood that is then applied and compressed in the factory to a substrate, which has a tongue and groove. So the tongue and groove locks it together and it gets glued down onto your rubber flooring. Another reason why we like to use engineered wood flooring is because it comes pre-stained. The general color tone is going to be consistent with what you saw typically in the showroom or the sample that you really fell in love with.
So you really get the idea of what your final install is going to look like.
Absolutely. I love Capri. And the reason why I like Capri is because it's not too golden, it's not too light, it's not too brown. It does, when you compare this and you put it on the floor next to other ones, it does look more brown than it does like a white oak. And I don't know if that's going to throw off things, so I would like to see that like on the ground.
This looks like close relative
Napoli.
to that.
Yeah, so Napoli is really nice. And then there was
I like
you
Dalmafi.
like Dalmafi. Dalmafi has gray in it. You see that?
Yeah, but it's
See, look at it compared to it. So this feels cooler and whitewashed. But it belongs like in a beach house. It doesn't, I don't think that this belongs. I
It's a
don't-
little,
I-
it's a
too
little, it's a
white.
little country,
It's
isn't it?
too, it's too white.
Cool as to
It's too, yeah.
downtown.
Yeah, it's just not
Hamptons.
Upper West Side. I
These
don't
are
know.
like traditional oak colors, but
Yeah.
muted.
Right. What is select grade and what is rustic or character? Those rustic and character grades are basically seeing the knots. We use the select grade. Select grade is basically removing all of that. You're really just seeing like the beautiful kind of graining of the wood.
Just pure grain, no imperfections,
no knots.
as few imperfections as possible.
Typically in like a Scandinavian or in a minimal or contemporary or even transitional, you don't really, and traditional, you don't usually see that as often. So just see that in like a boho style, or you'll see that in an industrial style.
Right? You want to get
farmhouse
naughty, like
modern,
old-looking pine.
You definitely get that,
and they're all desirable. Some people like it a little bit more rustic with a little bit more imperfections. It gives the floor character. Smooth. So this is so that's select.
Yes, that's select. That's select too.
This is select too, but
This is
it's a tighter.
This is the example of the character grade. Character and like the rustic. So this is like the character grade. Let me ask you, because I've never done Capri before. I don't really know like what it looks like. Does it have a lot of variation in it?
No, it's gonna be very uniform.
Love it. I like that. Yeah. But last frequently asked question, because I'm telling you there are so many regarding floors. So the last one is, do I really have to demo my floors? Yes.
Yeah, do it.
Yes, you do. I always say to people, they say, where to invest your money? And I always say, invest in your floors. That's my number one, invest in your floors, because number one, if you're looking to resell, okay, people are going to come in and be like, they're looking at the floors. So they're like, oh God, I have to redo the floors.
The floor will make an empty space look amazing.
It would look, but also financial impact of it, right? The fact that a buyer doesn't have to come in and redo the floors, because those floors are going to have other things on top of it, right? Like built-ins, radiator covers, kitchens, because now people are moving the wood floors into the kitchens and not tiling them.
Right. 100% recommend replacing the floors, because it will make all the difference in the world. And we've seen it time and time again.
For you and for resale value.
And for resale value.
Truly.
And you will go in there, again, there will be no dips, there will be, everything's going to look right, everything's going to look crisp. It's your foundation.
It's your foundation.
It's your own personal foundation in your apartment. If you get that right, everything else will fall into place.
Like I feel like you can almost put any color with Capri and it's gonna look great, honestly. It could go light, you could go dark, you could go brown.
You just like the name.
Oh, stop it. I really like it.
I'm just kidding.
It's good.
It looks nice.
All right, so we're doing
I'm
Capri.
into it. Yeah.
Done. Sold.
Chevron.
Yes.
Yep.
He also has the footage and
the